Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here this evening. I'm going to call the meeting to order. We will start with roll call.
All right, Ms. Berrigan?
Here.
Ms. Abeg?
Here.
Ms. Getzky?
Here.
Ms. Bell?
Here.
Ms. Anderson?
Here.
Before we move into Pledge of Allegiance tonight, I just wanted to talk briefly. Obviously, it's a difficult day with it being the 24th anniversary of 9/11. And adding to that tragic events, the shooting in Colorado yesterday, the stabbing of a woman on a subway station, and the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And in a time like this, it's hard to get through and think about and not reminisce on the difficulties and the negativity of the situation. And I would just ask that we all look towards hope. For me, that hope is in these children in this room tonight, and that makes me happy and hopeful. And I hope that there is something you can find to be hopeful for in a difficult time. After we say the Pledge of Allegiance, if you can please join me in a moment of silence. We're going to leave that moment of silence to be a little bit longer this evening. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. We do have a lot to celebrate here tonight. We need to start with the approval of the agenda, though. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
And next, we have the approval of the minutes from the previous governing board meeting of August. Do I have a motion?
Motion. Second.
Motion and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
And now, Dr. Sprout, all of the celebrations and wonderful things that are happening in our district.
Well, thank you, President Berrigan and governing board members, guests, thank you for being here tonight. I'm Jeff Sprout, I'm the superintendent. We have a lot of celebration to do tonight, and you may be wondering, how long am I going to be here tonight? We will take a break right after the classroom spotlight from Rogers Ranch, and so we would just ask that you stay through that, and we will move things along quickly, but we have a lot of things that are very exciting to announce tonight and people to recognize. So here we go. Each spring, students in grades K through 3 through 8 participate in the statewide academic achievement test. The test, which is called Arizona's Academic Standards Assessment, or AASA, measures a student's mastery in the standards of two subjects, math and English language arts, which is reading and writing. As a district, we have 64 students with representation from each of our 9 schools who achieved a perfect score in math or English language arts. Tonight, we would like to recognize students who have earned a perfect score in at least one of these subjects for consecutive years. So when I call your name, would you please come forward and receive a certificate for this outstanding accomplishment? 3 students earned perfect scores in math and English language arts, and they are from Paseo Point Dual Language Academy, Sophia Lensmeyer. This is math and English language arts, so that's an amazing accomplishment. Also from Paseo Point Dual Language Academy, Aiden Halterman. And from Vista del Sur Accelerated Academy, Caleb Contois. We have 13 students who have earned a perfect score in math or English language arts for consecutive years. From Estrella Foothills Global Academy, Adeline Basham. Also from Estrella Foothills, John Igeri. From EFGA, Jason Guan. Also from EFGA, Molly Walker. From Paseo Point Dual Language Academy, Paige Schultz. Also from PPDLA, Chloe Canfield. From Paseo Point, Michaela Lantine. Also from PPDLA, Caden Laguerre. And another Paseo Point, Salma Magana. From Vista del Sur Accelerated Academy, we have 3 students. Viviana Alvarado. Kivi Malipatan. And Bianca Alvarado. He is not able to be here tonight, feeling ill, but we also want to give a big round of applause to, also from Vista, Ethan Rogers. So congratulations to Ethan. I believe I've got everyone. Is that correct? Are we missing any students? Okay, well, let's give a big round of applause. And parents, if you would like to come up and get a picture, please come on up. We will stand up here as long as you need us to. Smiling, everyone. Just keep smiling. Keep smiling.
We're going to take a picture first. Okay.
All right. We're going to take a couple, okay? And 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. And we're going to go again in 3, 2, 1. All right. And we're going to 3, 2, 1.
Keep smiling, guys. Don't move. Stay there. Let your parents get pictures. Keep smiling. Keep smiling. Keep smiling. Keep smiling. Photo shoot, guys. Nice job. So you got the. We're gonna do it. Okay. There we go. Yep. The Excellence in Education Award is the highest honor for Laveen teachers, recognizing those who set the gold standard in instruction, leadership, professionalism, and most importantly, student academic achievement. Tonight, we're going to recognize our 24-25 recipients, which were just announced in July. Here we go. From Laveen Elementary School, 8th grade English Language Arts teacher Adrian Ruiz. From MC Cash Elementary School, Jessica Sorensen, 7th grade math teacher. From Vista del Sur Accelerated Academy, 8th grade ELA teacher Matthew McDuff. From Laveen Leadership Academy, PE teacher Andre Billman. From Rogers Ranch STEM Academy, first grade teacher Michelle Silva. From Paseo Point Dual Language Academy, 5th grade teacher Amanda Moore. From Estrella Foothills Global Academy, first grade teacher Erica Rodriguez. This is a great combination here. From Trailside Point Performing Arts Academy, PE and 6th grade math teacher Rob Eiler. From Desert Meadows Elementary School, 5th grade teacher Samara Soto. We just saw the best of the best academic performance from our students. These are our teachers that are the best of the best being recognized this year. So let's give them another round of applause. Yeah, keep smiling. That's what I told the kids.
One more.
The parents are here. Oh, come in closer.
By your school color.
Each year on September 11th, going back to President Berrigan's opening remarks, all Laveen schools observe 9/11 Education Day by dedicating time to age-appropriate lessons on the events of September 11th, 2001. Today, I had the opportunity in a campus-wide visit at Paseo Point Dual Language Academy, hitting all of the classrooms, saw many of these lessons taking place, again, at an age-appropriate level. So great job to all of our staff today. The Superintendent's Math All-Stars Club is back for the 25-26 season, and the challenge is on. Starting yesterday, I am visiting all of our schools for our annual kickoff assembly to launch an incredible mission with a goal of over 1 million extra minutes of math practice. Our All-Stars will earn fantastic prizes and sharpen their skills, all while pushing towards our goal of 1 million minutes. But that's not all. I'm very excited to introduce a brand new club this year, Dr. Sprout's Reading Superheroes. Designed for our amazing second graders, this club is all about igniting a love for reading. I am also visiting each school to launch this exciting new adventure with our second grade students and teachers. What does it mean to be a reading superhero? Well, my request is that they read an extra 60 minutes at home, either alone or with a family member, a sibling, and that is what makes our Reading Superhero program go. So we're excited. Both of these clubs will start in October. Laveen is beginning the review of our K through 8 English Language Arts curriculum as we plan for adoption this year and implementation next year. With our current curricula expiring, we are developing a committee of school leaders, teachers, and parents to collaboratively work together on new options. We are excited that 76 stakeholders have already expressed interest, and we look forward to sharing the committee's recommendation with the board later on this year. The first meeting of the committee is September 23rd. At our recent Native American Parent Advisory Committee meeting, families gathered to share community and excitement for the new school year. We are honored to welcome Captain Johnny Rodriguez of the Gila River Fire Department, a Laveen alumnus whose story of perseverance, dedication, and pride in his roots inspired both students and families. I was at Paseo Point a couple nights ago. You could not get anywhere near the parking lot. Well, part of that is because we're building new solar panels, which we're very excited about, right? And I know it's a temporary inconvenience, but the reason the parking lot was jammed at 5 o'clock in the evening is our 25-26 intramural season tipped off on September 8th with boys basketball and softball leading the way. Hundreds of students across 9 schools will compete this year, now sporting fresh uniforms with new logos. This exciting program continues to give middle grade students valuable opportunities to grow in teamwork, sportsmanship, and competition. I love this picture. The rollout of our standard response protocol safety training is on track for 100% of staff being trained by the start of Q2, and all of our students receiving age-appropriate instruction through classroom trainings in pre-K through 2 and assemblies for grades 3 through 8, while families are being engaged through information sessions and ongoing updates. Together, these efforts ensure our staff, students, and families are prepared, and we use consistent and research-based approaches to school and district safety. Who is that guy? That is our safety and communications coordinator. He does not have a degree in education, but he has a degree in safety, but he was channeling his inner teacher and inner father right there by working with students. So great shot. Thank you, Mr. Gowell. Over 50 families joined the curriculum portion of the Love of Learning event at Laveen Leadership Academy at Cheatham Farms, which was followed by a K-5 foam party and a 6th through 8th dance with over 500 attendees. Families engaged in games and activities that connected them with educators and supported their students learning across grades. Together, they worked hard and they played hard, celebrating their community while building futures for the Cheetahs. The Arizona Diamondbacks Foundation, with Resolution Copper, created the STEM Dugout to showcase how baseball connects with science, technology, engineering, and math. As part of the event, Desert Meadows students proudly presented their own robots and coding projects at Chase Field. So nice job at Desert Meadows. Each month, Estrella Foothills Global Academy celebrates Color Day in support of their developmental preschool program. Students, staff, and teachers transform the school by wearing and displaying the color of the month, while preschoolers connect colors to academics and enjoy a school-wide color walk. These traditions not only build inclusion and joy, but also celebrate our youngest learners as part of the EFGA community. So nice job over there at Estrella Foothills. Ms. Atunez of Rogers Ranch was honored by Ideal Temp Mechanical with a $500 Amazon gift card for her dedication as a self-contained classroom teacher. She truly embodies the work and goes above and beyond for her students and the entire Rogers Ranch community. Over the past year, local faith leaders have come together to embrace and support an initiative that we started as a school district called our Interfaith Gatherings. From hosting events to building community alliances, these faith-based leaders are dedicated to supporting our schools and the Laveen Village. We are grateful for their partnership and look forward to this continued collaboration. The picture you see up here was taken at this week's fall meeting of our Interfaith Gathering. On August 28th, Laveen School District was awarded $2.84 million from EPA's Clean Heavy-Duty Vehicle Grant, bringing our total funding for new electric buses to $6.34 million. These grants support 22 fully electric school buses and $300,000 in infrastructure improvements, which you will hear more about tonight. Through both collaborative and independent efforts, Laveen is leading the way in bringing zero-emissions transportation to our students. Thank you to our transportation director, Eric Kissel. Where is Eric? He's probably way back there somewhere, but he'll stick his head in and wave in just a moment. Well, we'll let him. Here he comes. Here is our amazing director of transportation, $6 million. So, also backing up one slide, Sarah, our community engagement coordinator. You'll see there is Julie Starkey, who has brought all of our pastors and faith-based leaders together. So, round of applause. Thank you, Julie. Laveen's Child Nutrition Department earned 4 USDA Healthy Meals Incentive Awards, recognizing their innovative strategies to provide nutritious meals and to engage families. The team was honored for limiting added sugars during breakfast, reducing sodium at lunch, increasing scratch cooking, including an incredible ranch sauce that they make, and promoting nutrition education. These awards celebrate the department's commitment to serving healthy, appealing meals to students every day. And somewhere out there is our National Child Nutrition Director of the Year, Jennifer Gordon. Let's just give her a round of applause. We won't make her come out. Finally, there she is. Finally, before we go into our Employees of the Month and then a classroom spotlight, and then we will take that committed to break. On Monday, the Laveen community and Desert Meadows community celebrated the ribbon cutting of Laveen Heritage Park, which is just on the west side of the Desert Meadows School campus. Appropriately, Desert Meadows third graders got to play on it first. So also in attendance was Mayor Gallego, Councilwoman Hernandez, Governing Board Member Linda Abeg, and many Laveen staff members. It is a beautiful park with lots of options, including a ninja course, disc golf. It's a beautiful space, and we're very excited about the recreational opportunities and the gathering spaces that it will give us as a community. Next, we go into our Employee of the Month. Our certified Employee of the Month is Emily Nolasco Rodriguez, first grade teacher at MC Cash Elementary. Ms. Nolasco Rodriguez began her journey as a student teacher at MC Cash 4 years ago. Then she became an instructional associate and then a first grade teacher, and she has become a powerful force on the campus. She consistently places the needs of her students and colleagues first, going above and beyond to ensure the success, even when it means stepping outside of her comfort zone. This year, she embraced the challenge of supporting English learners and dedicates additional time after school to providing tutoring for students in need. We are grateful for Emily's steadfast commitment to the MC Cash community and her unwavering dedication to rising to every occasion. Congratulations, Emily Nolasco Rodriguez. Principal Nicole Goodwin. going to have a few comments for you, so.
So, one of the great things about Emily is that Emily is never phased. For example, what, did I give you 2 days? 2 days before, yeah. 2 days before Meet the Teacher Night this year, we found out that one of our classrooms wasn't gonna be used the way that we thought. And I had this great idea in the summer to have a K-1 building, but then it didn't work out. But then on Tuesday, it turned out it would work out, and so I said, hey, we can have that K-1 building. And she went, hooray. And she moved all her stuff with her dad. Is your dad here? Yeah, and with her dad, our honorary. The room that was completely set up over the summer came and set it up, and you never would have known on Meet the Teacher Night. She is unfazable. She will do anything you ask her to do, and she's a great asset to us.
Our classified employee of the month is Diego Villa Mendoza, Student Success Associate, Paseo Point Dual Language Academy. Diego embodies all the qualities that make a school employee truly remarkable. He builds incredible relationships with our students as well as their families. He is calm. He has a knack for being exactly where he is needed, and he is a tremendous team player. And he is compassionate to all that he encounters. Diego will take on any challenge and learn from it, and then become an expert. The Paseo Point community has been fortunate to have Diego as part of their team for the past 3 school years, while he simultaneously works on his secondary ed degree. So a couple things. One is, we're not going to let this guy, just like with Emily, out of our sight. So you might as well just get ready to be a teacher in our district, right, Mr. Thomas and everyone else? Yeah, he's locked in. And I was at Paseo Point today, and I was zigzagging all over the campus in between breaks and special area classes and lunches, and every corner of the campus I seemed to go to, Diego was there doing something. So he is a remarkable person. Both of our employees of the month have risen through the ranks in this district, and we're just very thankful for them. But congratulations, Diego. Sotelo.
It is an absolute honor for me to stand up here and recognize Diego as our district's classified employee of the month. Diego serves as our student success staff, and really, he truly embodies what it means to be focused on helping students succeed. Diego has a gift for building strong relationships with students, staff, and families. He creates a safe and welcoming environment where everyone feels supported and valued. No matter what task, Diego is ready and willing to help and always goes above and beyond his responsibilities. We are so fortunate to have Diego as part of our RAM family, and I can't think of anyone more deserving of this recognition. Congratulations, maestro.
Governing Board, I got 3 upcoming events, and then we'll head into Rogers Ranch Classroom Spotlight. First, our EL Family Night on September 22nd. Our next Governing Board meeting, as a reminder to all, is on Wednesday, October 1st, because we have parent-teacher conferences on the 2nd and 3rd. And then we have the groundbreaking of our newest school, which if you've been to 59th and Olney, you'll see that school being built. Laveen Traditional Academy on October 2nd. Everyone is invited. And now I'm very excited to turn it over to Dr. Caitlin Grikarowicz, principal of Rogers Ranch STEM Academy, for our classroom spotlight tonight.
Good evening, President Berrigan, Governing Board members, and Dr. Sprout. My name is Caitlin Gurkiewicz, and I'm the proud principal at Rogers Ranch STEM Academy. This evening, I'm honored to share some of the outstanding work taking place at our school. First, I'd like to extend my gratitude to Miss Savannah Lee, our talented art teacher whose student work is featured tonight on the wall behind you. Our K-8 and self-contained special education students work together to create a mural inspired by the internationally recognized street artist Thank You X. Each student designed their own cube using colors, patterns, and ideas that represent who they are. The cubes were combined into one mural, a celebration of creativity, individuality, and community. At this time, though, I would like to introduce one of our exceptional educators, Ms. Cynthia Fergozo, along with her outstanding first grade readers. Ms. Fergozo has been a dedicated teacher at Rogers Ranch for the past 7 years. During her time at the ranch, she has consistently demonstrated excellence in supporting students as they develop strong early literacy skills. This is her first year teaching first grade, and we're already excited to witness the growth that her students are achieving. In fact, by the end of last school year in kindergarten, her students were reading fluently, exceeding the district average, with her kindergartners averaging reading 35 words per minute, a true testament to her commitment and instructional expertise. This year, Rogers Ranch is implementing a school-wide instructional strategy known as reciprocal reading, a structured, research-based approach designed to support students in both fluency and reading comprehension. At this time, I would like to welcome Ms. Fergozo, who will share a glimpse of reciprocal reading in action with her amazing first grade students. This week, our first graders are reading from the Spalding Reader titled Teamwork Pays Off, which aligns with our district-adopted pacing guide. If you were to walk into any first grade classroom in Laveen this week, this is the text that you would see in use. Thank you from Ms. Fergozo and students.
Good evening, President Berrigan, Governing Board members, and Dr. Sprout. I'm excited to be here tonight to showcase the amazing work that our first graders are doing during reciprocal reading. Reciprocal reading is a collaborative reading strategy where students take turns leading a structured discussion about a shared text. It focuses on improving reading comprehension through 4 key strategies: predicting, guessing what the text might be about or what might happen next, clarifying, identifying confusing parts and discussing unknown words or ideas, questioning, asking questions about the text to check for understanding, and summarizing, restating the main ideas of the text in a concise way. Students often rotate roles so that everyone gets to practice each skill. Today, our first graders will be focusing on the questioning part. Our goal is for all students to participate during reciprocal reading. We start by implementing everything that we have learned during Spalding to ensure that all students are able to read. We start by setting high expectations. Students apply their knowledge of phonograms, spelling rules, and decoding skills to reading independently. All students are expected to read Spalding level readers daily to build comprehension with fluency. And we start by teaching them phonograms, rules, and markings, and that helps improve fluency and comprehension as well. In order to get our students to become better readers as well as comprehension, we provide immediate feedback. So we start by reinforcing the phonogram rules taught, apply the marking knowledge they have learned, read with proper expression, and reread to build comprehension with fluency. For today, our first grade students will be using the Spalding level reader, Teamwork Pays Off. Before we get started, I would like to introduce our awesome first grade students. So here we have Liam Morris, Chelsea Pineda, Malia Peterson, Eric Bergen, Winter Mims, Luca Lerma, Eliana Northcott, and Jimena Ortiz Almanzar. So now for the fun part, we are going to be showcasing what reciprocal reading looks like in our first grade classroom. Reciprocal reading has two partners. Partner A, they do the reading. Partner B, they ask a question about the text to check for understanding. So for today, we are going to have our first graders. They will start by being partner A. They will be reading to you. And then partner B, you guys will get a chance to ask them a question. And like I mentioned earlier, you guys do rotate roles. Then you will be reading, and the first graders will be asking you a question. Okay, first graders, go ahead and stand up, please, and walk to your partner.
Hi, do you want to come around and stand right here by me so you can see?
All the way around.
We can read together.
Okay, first graders, if I can just have you introduce yourself and then put your eyes on me before you get started. Love it. Okay. Thank you. Perfect. Okay, boys and girls, when I say begin, you will begin. Remember, students, you are partner A, you will be reading. Partner B, you will be asking a question, and begin.
Alright, is it my turn? I love that tree. Let's make a tree house. And we can sit up there even on a rainy day.
Where did twins like to sit?
I love that person. What is the weather? It's a rainy day outside. Then we can
What did they like to do? Job. Did they do it on rainy days? Do it. I love that. The kids, huh? Do you like to get rid of it?
What are they gonna make? What did they make?
Okay.
Very good. First, make a picture.
Okay, first graders, if I can please have you face me, please. Good job. Really good job. All right, boys and girls, go ahead and say thank you to your partner, and please return to your seat.
Thank you, Miss Neal. Neal's my favorite. Gotta go ready.
Thank you, President Berrigan, governing board members, and Dr. Sprout for giving my first graders and I the opportunity to demonstrate reciprocal reading in action. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Fregoso. Ms. Fregoso, if you would please bring your students up and let's get a picture. And again, families, we'll let you come up and get a picture as well. So then I have one more thing to say, and then we'll take a break.
Daisy.
I know. Let's give a round of applause again to Rogers Ranch STEM Academy. A couple of just closing words before we take a break. One is if you are a family member or a friend of people being recognized, tonight we had a chance to see some incredible students, adults, emerging leaders in our district, and you should be so proud that they are here tonight and that you are part of their lives. And I know that they have counted on you and will continue to count on you to support them. Going back to something that President Berrigan said, our logo or our theme this year, if you look in the lower left-hand corner, is building futures. You sit in a room like this and you go through the past 43 minutes, you can't help but have hope. And that is what we want to generate in this community as a school district, and I know that you're doing that in your families' lives and in your friends' lives. But here's to hope, and here's to building futures. And now I'll turn it back over to President Berrigan.
Thank you, Dr. Sprout. Are Eric's parents here tonight or family members? Raise your hand. Mom, he wants to be a scientist. He's going to do it. I know it. Thank you guys for sharing your kids with us tonight, for being here to celebrate staff and students across the district. Incredibly intelligent, incredibly hopeful. That is what I feel about tonight. And I hope that you see why we are doing such amazing work, all of our staff, every day in this district with your kids, with all the kids that we have here. So thank you for being with us. You're welcome to stay for the business portion of the meeting.
Yeah,
It's
I
not quite as fun as what we just did. Or we're going to take a break now, and if you would like to leave for the evening, you may do so. Thank you again for being here.
is that? Was that you?
Somebody back
Thank
in
you.
the back.
Okay, got
This is
it.
Ashley Miranda.
It was Ashley. Decibels low for her.
President Berrigan, members of the board, and Dr. Sprout. Tonight I'll be presenting on the district's 10-year infrastructure plan. The segue to this portion of the meeting was not as fun as what we did before, and I think that's a fair statement. But as far as business presentations go, I think there's some exciting things in here. This is the third year that we've had a presentation on the district's 10-year infrastructure plan in September. The last 2 years, the presentations were more about our needs and our plans to address those needs, and I'll talk about that again tonight. But what's exciting about this year's presentation is that there's some updates on things we've done to meet those needs and projects that are underway and starting to see us meeting the needs of the next 10 years come into fruition. I don't think it'll be a surprise to anyone that our needs over the next 10 years are driven by growth in Laveen, and this slide has been a part of the previous two presentations. We expect to add over 2,000 new students over the next 10 years, and our 10-year plan centers around being prepared to serve all of our future students as well as our current students. The numbers that you see on this slide are slightly different than what's been in the previous two presentations, and now those numbers are based on 2024-25, or last school year, looking forward to 2033-34. So there's a few more housing units on there. Those tend to be a little bit more multifamily based on some changes in development plans for some properties, but no material change in the new number of students we'll see over the next 10 years, still building for more than 2,000 additional students. So we have some key needs to be prepared to serve those 2,000 additional students and all of our existing students. The top of the list last year was to acquire land for 2 new schools. And unfortunately, that's not a need anymore, and I'll share a little bit more information about that. We also need to build 2 new schools, one that's currently in progress and one that'll be a few more years down the road. Need to expand and renovate our existing schools to bring all of our existing schools up to the standard that we'll be building our new schools to. And then also build some capacity here at the Laveen Education Center for more bus drivers, more support staff to serve a larger district. While we're doing all that, we'll continue to maintain adequate transportation fleet, technology, and equipment. I'll give a quick update on each of the main areas of need over the next 10 years. First, as I mentioned, the most important is that we'll need new schools to serve the larger student population. We used to need new land for these schools, but back in December of 2024, we closed on 14.9 acres of land northeast of 63rd Avenue and South Mountain Avenue as a site for school number 11. In July, we entered into a 75-year lease with the city of Phoenix for 20 acres of land southeast of Piedmont and 59th Avenue. And as it happens, tomorrow we'll be closing on an additional 1.4 acres from the Arizona Department of Transportation that adds on to that school number 11 site and gives us 16 acres there for school number 11. In terms of building the new schools, Dr. Sprout mentioned earlier, and I don't think anyone that drives down Dobbins and looks south could miss, Laveen Traditional Academy is currently under construction. That's on track to be completed in early July 2026, and we'll have Laveen Traditional Academy open for next school year. School number 11, we currently expect to begin construction in 2029, but similar to Laveen Traditional Academy, that timeline will have a lot to do with how fast enrollment grows over the next few years and when we qualify for State School Facilities Oversight Board funding. So if enrollment grows faster than we project right now, that could be needed sooner. If enrollment grows a little bit slower over the next few years, that could be a little bit further into the future. And 2029 is our best guess right now. Laveen Traditional Academy, as I mentioned, is under construction. It's been really exciting to see this go from a design and a concept to something that actually physically exists and exists more and more every day. The left-hand side of this slide is a rendering from our architects of what Laveen Traditional Academy will ultimately look like. And the right-hand side of this slide is what's going on at that site as of last week. So in that picture on the right-hand side, the aerial image, you can see 2 buildings that are fairly prominent. Those are the future cafeteria and gym buildings. And then on the 57th Avenue side of those buildings is where the classrooms and front office of the school, what you see on the right-hand side of the rendering, where those will be built. This is one more look at the Laveen Traditional Academy site, and you can see those two buildings with a little bit more detail looking this way. So we're looking south now, away from Dobbins. To the right of those two buildings will be where the playground, the basketball courts, and all of the sport fields will be built for Laveen Traditional Academy. And similar to EFGA, we're entering into an intergovernmental agreement, or we've entered into an intergovernmental agreement with the City of Phoenix for those spaces to be open to the public outside of school hours as a public park. We also, 2 weeks ago, got some really exciting news that Phoenix City Council voted to restrict the funds that we'll be paying for the 75-year land lease for the 20 acres where Laveen Traditional Academy will be built, to take that money and restrict it to improve the southern 20 acres of the property. So looking at this image, the open space that you see beyond the school and north of Olney, the money from our lease will be restricted to improve that property as a public park. Earlier tonight, we saw Laveen Heritage Park next to Desert Meadows, and driving by that, you can see how nice it is to have a big public park next to a school site. And that's what we'll be getting here with Laveen Traditional Academy as well, which will be great for the Laveen community. Moving on from updates on our new schools in the 10-year infrastructure plan, we're also making progress on improvements to existing schools to bring all of our schools up to the district standard. The one improvement that you can't miss going to any of our schools right now is that 8-foot non-climbable fencing has been installed around the perimeter of 8 of our 9 schools so far. All of the main fence panels are installed completely, and what's left to be done is gates, custom pieces, and front entries, things that are a little bit different than the standard panel size. And that'll be finished up over the next few weeks on weekends and outside of school hours to close out those 8 schools. Vista Del Sur Accelerated Academy will have fencing installed a little bit later this year. We have some other expansion and renovation projects planned there, and also need to update our intergovernmental agreement with the City of Phoenix for the playfield side of that school to incorporate the new fencing. The other big improvement you'll see at 4 of our 9 schools is solar covered parking. Prior to this year, Trailside Point, Vista Del Sur Accelerated Academy, Paseo Point Dual Language Academy, and Estrella Foothills Global Academy did not have the same solar covered parking as other schools. In each of their parking lots now, you'll see the structures in place to hold solar panels. And by December 2025, not only will all the structures be built, but all the electrical connections will be finished, and we'll be generating solar power at those 4 schools, just as the other 5. Looking ahead to the future, a few of the improvements that we plan for existing schools to bring schools up to standard are to update the fronts of our schools to add shade, seating, and signage, and to do that in a way that reflects the excellence occurring within the schools. So potentially to incorporate the school name into a shade piece or something tied to the signature program. We'll also continue to add exterior LED lights to schools. A lot of that's been done over the last few years, and we'll fill the remaining gaps over the next few years. Continue with playground improvements, landscaping improvements, and then also things like water bottle filling stations near outdoor play areas. 1 or 2 of our schools, we've planned to install those in the near future, and all will have those under our renovations to existing schools. I mentioned that we also need to expand the Laveen Education Center property here to accommodate additional students. And so that'll include site modifications, new transportation building, which is the main part of that, and then a smaller remodel to the support services building. That's all been designed now, and on the governing board agenda tonight, you'll see electrical infrastructure improvements and capacity for electric bus charging. We expect to see ground moving on this site before the end of the year, and construction of the new transportation building to be underway by early 2026. So that's coming up very quickly behind the Laveen Traditional Academy construction and beginning of work over at Vista Del Sur. There's another important item on the governing board agenda tonight that ties into our 10-year infrastructure plan, and that's a resolution to issue $34 million in new bonds from the authorization that was approved by voters last November. Those bonds will primarily fund the local share of construction of Laveen Traditional Academy, and also the expansion and renovations of Vista Del Sur Accelerated Academy, as well as some of these ongoing improvements to existing schools that I discussed. Going forward, we'll continue to look at the big picture 10-year infrastructure needs of the district every year, what the major projects are and projected costs and funding. And we'll continue to have progress updates and updates on milestones for the individual projects as we move forward with those as well. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions that you have about the 10-year infrastructure plan.
Any questions?
I'll just comment that that drive line at Laveen Traditional Academy, I think, is going to be the envy of every other community in Laveen.
It still will never be long enough. I promise. Somehow it will still take 15 minutes to get everyone through there.
15 minutes. But I love that in addition to building the new facilities and building those to a high standard, that in the meantime, we're also keeping our other schools up at those high standards so that every school has that same quality of learning environment. So I appreciate all your effort on that.
And I want to say I love the green efforts too. That's something that's really important to me. Environmental mindfulness, the solar panels, electric buses, shade, trees, love that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. You're doing a great job. Your team, I know that includes Mr. Jacobson significantly, obviously Eric being involved with the transportation side of things, thoughtful, considerate ways of spending limited funds with bond money and SFD money, and making every dollar count for what's most important in the district. So thank you. I think Dr.
Yeah.
Sprout wants to say something.
Well, going back to the Laveen Traditional Academy and the park being built, we've long had a history of empty spaces next to our schools, and so would like to thank Board Member Abeg and Charlie for both working with the City of Phoenix extensively to get the wording correct with the City Council, and to really, take state dollars and then use them for the lease, and then to use that lease to then build the park. And so it's like we're getting 2 for 1 almost. But thank you to Ms. Abeg and Charlie, who were on top of this with the city the entire time. So, and I had a conversation the other day with the mayor. She's like, this is absolutely remarkable that Laveen came up with this. So nice job to both of you.
All right, now it's Dr. Tim Thomas's turn. Let's see what you got.
It's hard to follow, Charlie.
Yeah, it is.
I'm already. He told me our schedule is to get haircuts the night before the board meeting, and he left me.
What the
he
heck?
hit one, so here we go. Good evening, President Berrigan, members of the governing board, and Dr. Sprout. Thank you for giving me the opportunity this evening to present some information to you on a variety of topics. Some of the topics that we'll cover tonight is the 24-25 performance pay plan overview. We'll also be recommending a 25-26 performance pay plan. As required by state statute, I'll be giving an overview of the 24-25 educator effectiveness plan and labels. I'll also present a recommendation of the governing board on the 25-26 educator effectiveness plan, and then I'll provide the 24-25 staff survey results. Before I get into the topics that I just mentioned, anytime I have the opportunity to speak in front of our governing board or our staff, I always like to highlight our employee commitments. These are commitments that we make that we not only speak about, but we align our actions to, and commitments that we can be held accountable for. And throughout the presentation tonight, you will see these interwoven between many of the topics that we cover. So the 24-25 performance pay plan overview. That is a statutory mandate performance plan. It's not something that Laveen has just come up with, but we are required to do. And we wanted to make sure that our plan recognizes performance in the classroom, distributes fund in a balanced manner, boosts morale, encourages improvement, and is clear and easy to understand. Last year, in the 24-25 school year, there was an allocation of $3,800 per teacher. I do want to remind you that that can change every year as it's based on sales tax revenue collected by the state. And just to note that when I mentioned teachers, it's the teachers on a teacher salary schedule, which are teachers, instructional coaches, and counselors are the employees that are eligible for performance pay. We have 3 components of our performance pay plan. One is annual evaluation performance pay, which is based on the completion of the required formal observations. We have educator goal plan performance pay, which is based on the completion of an educator goal plan. That's where teachers and administrators set goals at the beginning of the year, academic goals and professional goals with action steps, and it's monitored throughout the year and signed off at the end of the year. And then we have leadership performance pay, which is up to $18, which is up to 60 hours, $30 an hour for any extracurricular activities or things done outside the school day, and that is paid as those hours are completed. Last year, we distributed performance pay checks on August 1st, or for last year, it was just a month ago when teachers returned to school. The average performance pay last year was $3,530, and the total amount distributed was just over $1.5 million in performance pay. I did put a note there that our starting teacher salary this year is $58,344. So when you combine performance pay to that, a starting teacher here in Laveen, a first-year teacher, makes over $61,000, which again goes back to our employee commitment of competitive salary and benefits. Any questions on last year's performance pay plan or overview?
I just have one question.
Yes.
So it pays August 1st, so does that mean if somebody didn't sign a contract last year into this year, they're not eligible for it because they're not here anymore? They have to re-sign?
No, they do not need to re-sign. So that is for the 24-25 school year, and if they work during the 24-25 school year, they get an educator effectiveness label, and they are still eligible for performance pay if they don't return back in those. It's a direct deposit. It used to be a live check that was mailed out, but we caught up with the time. Thank you, Brenda Long and Ashley Moran. That is a great question. We're often asked that question for staff members that are leaving the district that have completed, they had to have completed their contract.
Yeah.
If they left throughout the school year, our plan says they're not eligible for performance pay. But if they complete the school year or their contract, we don't say, you left and you're not coming back, you don't get your performance.
Of course, I wouldn't want any of them to leave, but I just was curious about that.
Yeah, it's a great question. Thank you. All right, we'll keep moving. The 25-26 performance pay plan. Later on this evening, you'll have the opportunity to approve the 25-26 performance pay plan. And we do not have any recommended changes to that plan. On August 28th, Educator Effectiveness Performance Pay Committee met. That had representation, a teacher from every school and an administrator, and that plan is unanimously being recommended tonight by that committee. That'll continue to have the three components that I just mentioned in the 24-25 overview, and that is the plan that will be recommended, or that is being recommended on the governing board agenda this evening. Any questions on the 25-26 performance pay plan?
No questions, but I just wanted to make a comment that I just appreciate the thoughtfulness in the opportunity to identify a specific goal to work on for each teacher, because every teacher is in a different spot in their learning and growing as an educator, and so to be able to give them the opportunity to work towards one specific thing is a great opportunity. So I just appreciate that piece of the evaluation process.
Thank you, Ms. Henry. And if I can comment on that, that was a decision that was made a few years ago that a developing teacher, they may be in their first year, but they're working as hard and they're gonna grow and have goals and action step to help them. And we used to have differentiated monies based on the label. So by doing it this way, again, it goes back to our commitments for us, this mandate that we have to implement that makes it fair, boosts morale, and is clear and easy to understand. So I appreciate that comment.
So it seems like the 1,800 is more, they have to put a lot more effort into after school hours or programs, clubs, whatever. But do you have an estimate, and of course no pressure on this number, but how many people or how many teachers qualified or received any type of performance pay in the last cycle? Was it most of them or? Almost
all of them. That's why the committee. So we have it budgeted in our Prop 301, our classroom site fund, for every teacher to get all $3,800. Last year, the average of the Prop 301 or the 1,800 was 1,500 of the 800. So most of our teachers completed the 60 hours. Some might have done 30 to 60. Maybe there was a couple that didn't participate, but the average of that 1,800 was 15. The average was 51 of the 60 hours was completed by every employee when you average it out.
And I
51.
love that as a parent, just because I don't know, I mean, time is precious, especially to teachers that might have, you know, kids as well. So like at the school that my child goes to, like there's clubs galore, like they can go to dance club and, you know, there's a club for every type of student, but I don't know that we would have that type of engagement or that type of want if teachers weren't being compensated for it, because that's fair, I think, for them to have to stay until 4:30 instead of whatever time they normally leave. So I love that it gives them something they're passionate about, they can pass on to the students, and then the students also benefit from that, but also, you know, providing
I will let you know.
fair compensation.
There were over 22,000 hours in
Wow.
leadership in 301 hours. That
I love that.
attributes
Yeah,
to,
that's awesome.
to that 51, approximately 51 hours per, or times 438 eligible employees or teachers. So it really is a remarkable.
And we also have teachers that go beyond the 60 hours, and our school sites work with them that they continue to get supported
Yep.
financially for doing
Oh,
that.
that's
So-
amazing. Well, as a former educator, this is amazing. I have in my own district when I taught and other district peers I have, sometimes it felt like the district didn't want to allocate that money to us or made it difficult. And I love that this is super transparent and very attainable. And it looks like they work with their administrator to attain those goals. And I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
So thank you for
Yeah,
that.
yeah, thank you. Not only the goals for individually on the educator goal plan, but then also kind of their plan for those 60 hours.
Yeah.
I'm going to coach a sport, I'm going to run a club that
Yeah,
you're talking
that's
about. And
fantastic.
the teacher and administrators look for something the teachers are passionate about that's going to benefit the kids, and they're getting paid for it
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
at the same time. So we hope.
I will say ours were tied solely to test scores, our students' test scores, and sometimes that's tricky.
Yeah.
So this is great.
And not all students have the ability to afford, you know, extracurricular
Yeah.
activities in, you know, outside of school. And so these 1 hour, once or twice a week, where they can be with their friends and do something that they love, but at low or no cost to them is
Yeah, absolutely.
really, really nice. You know, they can be involved in something else. I love that.
Thank you. I'll move on to our next topic, which does include test scores. I'll give an overview of an educator, our 24-25 educator effectiveness plan and the labels. As I mentioned, this is required by state statute that we give an overview of the plan and of the labels to the governing board each school year. So as I mentioned, it's required by state statute, and one of the requirements is that we have 4 categories. Those categories need to be ineffective, developing, effective, and highly effective. Student achievement data needs to be included in the effectiveness label, and that can be, depending on each district, anywhere between 20% and 33%. And then just to reemphasize something we've already discussed tonight, there is no money tied to the effectiveness label. So our performance pay plan and our educator effectiveness labels run on 2 separate tracks. I'm going to kind of take you down a timeline or in history. So 2 years ago in the 23-24 school year, we revised and implemented a new formal observation instrument. And with that instrument, that's 2 years ago, we also implemented a new way to calculate educator effectiveness labels. So I'll remind you and share with you on the next slide how those labels in the 23-24 school year came out, which then made us, last year, change the way we calculated the 24-25 labels to make it more in line with our historical data. So last year when we ran, after changing the formal observation instrument and the way we calculated, this is how the distribution came out. And we knew it wasn't a true reflection of the distribution of educator effectiveness labels, but we were okay in that trend erring on the side of the teachers while we tried to figure out, but obviously the pendulum swung so far that we needed to make adjustments, which we did for the 24-25 school year. So this was 2 years ago, which then we ran some if-then statements to show us what we needed to do to our plan. And that's what it looked like historically in comparison to previous years. So we knew we were out of alignment. So you can see in the 23-24 school year on top, which gave us 97% of teachers highly effective. We made a change, which you see on the bottom. Last year, the Educator Effectiveness Committee, as well as the governing board, approved a new plan, which calculated the labels using 70% of a teacher's formal observation, or some people call it an evaluation, and 30% of student achievement growth. And we also increased the benchmark on median conditional growth increments, which you can see there. And again, we did that running some if-then statements with the previous year's data, which showed us we'd be more in line moving forward with historical trends. So last year was the first year we implemented this plan here, which consists of a 100-point scale, similar to the scale that your children might see in school. That you can see the 70% of that, of those 100 points are based off of their formal observation, and 30% is based off their NWA student achievement data, median conditional growth, which measures growth from the beginning of the year to the end of the school year, or the fall to the spring. Our formal observation instrument has 10 categories that are scored, meets or does not meet. They're each worth 7 points, so that's where the 70 points come from. Again, we want to make it very clear. So when a teacher leaves their formal observation, they already know out of those 70 points how many they've achieved. If they've gotten a meets on all 10 areas on the formal observation, they know they walk out of there with 70 points, which again, going back to the scale, you can't be any less than developing if you get all 10 areas are a meet. 7 points apiece, pretty easy math, 70 points. And then the other 30%, again, comes from their median conditional growth on NWEA, a test that's given in the fall to the spring that just measures growth, not proficiency. 50% tile is considered average growth, so obviously a teacher that's getting more than that is outpacing the average, or their students are growing and achieving, and those teachers tend to be obviously effective or highly effective. And then depending when that data comes out, they add that to their 70 points or 63 points, however many they receive from their formal observation, and that gives them their total points on that score range there. So when we did that this year, this is how educator effectiveness, or the distribution of the labels were. So as you can see, we had 8% ineffective, 26% or 114 teachers were developing, 50% effective, and 70 teachers highly effective. You can see how that aligns with, obviously, the last year, which was an anomaly, or we knew was inflated, and puts us more in line historically. So we were good, and we thought we were done. And that was this summer. Teachers were in. We ran educator effectiveness labels, and we were ready to distribute those to teachers when they returned from summer break. Anybody know what kind of pitch that is?
Curveball.
That's a curveball,
Good job.
President Berrigan. So we were throwing a curveball. So on July 11th, which the day before our summer admin retreat with our 45 administrators, NWEA came out with new norming studies. So on NWEA currently use, prior to July 11th, a 2020 norming study which collected data between 2015 and 2018. And that's data they collect. There's hundreds of thousands of students nationwide that take NWEA. So when they do their norming study, they take all of that information to get their median conditional growth and RIT scores and different data points within NWEA. So on July 11th, they released a new norming study called the 2025 norming study, and that is based on data collected post-COVID, which probably gives us a more accurate insight into student growth. So what did the Laveen School District do? That's that bottom sentence. The district recalculated educator effectiveness labels after we were all done, had it completed, had stacks of papers on my desk, because these are paper scorecards that we are required to give to this teacher, an annual evaluation within 5 days of being completed or when they return from the summer. So when I say the district recalculated educator effectiveness labels, I mean our data analysis coordinator, Catherine Crary, who I think is sitting behind me. At the same time, she's rolling out a new K2, no longer Ames Web, M-class tests and other things, and get ready for NWE testing and all kinds of things. Catherine did an amazing job, and you know, I could stand up here all night and I'm so appreciative of her and the work she did with the HR team to rerun those labels. And so we reran them. And this is how, when you ran all of our data with the 2020 norms and the 2025 norms, how the distribution of labels came out. You can see that the majority of our staff benefited from the new norming study. Our increase in almost every category with a decrease in developing and ineffective. So later this evening, we are recommending to the governing board approve a revised 2024 educator effectiveness plan for teachers and administrators, where they will have 2 educator effectiveness labels, one with the 2020 norms, one with the 2025, and it's our recommendation that we give the teacher the higher of the 2. I will tell you, in the district, there were 114 teachers. A large chunk remained the same. Their label didn't change based on the study. 114 teachers benefited, meaning they moved a category or their label got better because of the story. And there were 13 teachers, though, who would have been penalized if we would have only went with the 2025 norms. Because the distribution in the new norming study, ELA and math weren't equal with the benefits that were achieved by using one or another. So if a teacher only taught math, or a teacher only taught ELA, they may benefit, the math teacher may not. Or if you taught both, you're a 5th grade teacher that teaches ELA and math, how the distribution came out. But 13 teachers would have not benefited if we would have used one or the other. And if we didn't use the 2025, those 114 wouldn't benefit. So that is our recommendation, and that's on the governing board agenda later this evening. So when we give the teacher and administrator the better of the 2, this is the distribution chart. And that's how it looks in comparison of the 3, using the 2025 norms, 2020, 2025, or the higher of the 2. I will tell you that of the 22 ineffective teachers, 6 of them no longer are employed with the school district, so we do have 16 ineffective teachers throughout the school district out of 438 teachers. But again, probably an accurate representation of distribution of the labels.
Are those 4, did you say 13 or 14? 14.
They're,
Did they go blue to green, or I'm sorry,
16.
blue to green, green to yellow, or yellow to red? The
sorry,
ones
there was
that
114 teachers that benefited, and that's a collection of all of it. Some of them went, as you can see from the chart there, you can, on the 2020 norms to the 2025, that's where you can see the distribution or how it was effective. So we went from 70 highly effective to 101.
So the ones that would not benefit, there were
13.
13. Did they go between blue to green, or green to yellow, or yellow to red, or all over?
All of it. We had, those 13 teachers were in all, some of them would have went from highly effective to effective. There were a few that would have been developing to ineffective.
And are you letting them know which one they're based off of, or the situation?
Yep, so the scorecard that Catherine Curry went back and reproduced, it gives them the label for both. The 20, it says the 2020 study, the 2025, and then the one they benefit, it highlights the one that was used for that teacher.
That's awesome.
So those 13 teachers will see that had we used the 25 norms, what the label, there might be highly effective, but they would have been effective, or they're developing and potentially
So
would have been
they know
ineffective.
the difference. but
They know
you're
the difference.
Tracking, okay.
All
I just
teachers
don't want to
know.
like undercut somebody who really does need to perform, or the opposite, like who's doing great and was bumped up, like, on both sides. Like teachers should know exactly how they're doing, HR to HR.
And that-
But like exactly, like there shouldn't be any surprises, like I know I need to improve, or I know that I'm amazing.
They will see ineffective in developing, and they will see that they received the developing because we changed the label. But getting ahead of myself, the plan for next year is to use the 2025 norming study and have that be approved this evening for the new plan.
I think that's
So
a fair
that's-
soft, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
here's where we are, here's where we're moving to. Yeah, I think that's fair.
So again, when we use the better of the two, that's how the breakdown looks across historical years. I know we've been asking questions in and out, but if you have
Any other questions? Are we done torturing you? Or do you have one more thing? Keep going.
Okay, here we go. So later on this evening, you'll have an opportunity to approve the 25-26 Educator Effectiveness Plan and Labels. And the recommendation is that the median conditional growth for the 25-26 Educator Effectiveness Labels will be calculated using the 2025 NWEA norming study that we just used one. No other changes are recommended for the plan. And just to review, we're running in still the 100-point scale with 70, 30, and the cut scores for median conditional growth remain the same. That way we'll have a year-over-year true reflection of improvement and how we did. So we'll keep the plan. It's our recommendation, the committee's recommendation, that we keep the plan the same and have some good data to compare year over year next year. Any questions on that plan?
No, but I do want to say I really appreciate feeling like we're doing right by the teachers by, you know, even things like looking at the growth and on NWEA, something that they can really track and have as much control as possible, and looking at the growth and not just a set number for whichever individuals they have in their classroom and giving them the better label, all these things. I appreciate that we're treating our teachers right in those ways.
Awesome.
So thank you.
I appreciate that comment. And measuring growth is the fairest way to measure a teacher's effectiveness. The 2024-25 staff survey. I'll quickly go through this. So this last year was the third year. We gave all staff members a staff survey. And once again, it aligned to our employee commitments that here in Laveen, if you work for the Laveen School District, you have a place to make an impact. You'll have the highest level of support. You'll have opportunities for advancement, competitive salary and benefits. We care about your well-being. We do all kinds of things that we align around that, vaccine clinics and biometrics and wellness. And then that if you work for the Laveen School District, kind of like we did tonight, you will be celebrated. So I'll just quickly go through here. These are percentages. The SA and A are strongly agree and agree, so I just tallied those up, and then a plus or minus is the difference over the year prior. So you can see the Laveen School District is a great place to work. 55% strongly agree, 39 agree. That's a 94%, which is one less percent than it was a year ago, but over 90% of our staff surveyed feel that this is a great district to work for. I have a safe workplace. Again, hovering around the 90%, didn't see a lot of change from the 23, 24, or the last 3 years given this survey. I have a safe place to work. My school or department has a positive climate culture. Again, down 1% year over year with a strongly agree and agree. Hard to get the information on those neutral people, but we did dive in a little bit, and I'll talk about that more in a minute. I received the level of support I need to do my job successfully. You can see, again, a movement of 4 or more, 1% on a statistical range isn't a whole lot, but when you start to get into 4% or higher, I think you're seeing aspirations or action steps that we've aligned around some of these things to help us improve. There's open and transparent communication from the district. Over 80% of our staff agree and strongly agree, again, a 4% increase. My job allows me an opportunity to make a positive impact. 94% of our staff, that's one of our employee commitments again. Recognize and celebrates accomplishments, something that we strive to do. Again, another employee commitment of ours is that we celebrate our staff, and you can see a 4% increase year over year. Opportunities for leadership is about the same as a year before, with the strongly agree and agree. My school department provides high-quality professional development opportunities for staff. So again, we drilled into, I mentioned about a 4% increase, an 8% decrease. I ran that number a couple times. We added 30 minutes to PLCs this year. One of our aspirations, our action steps for our aspiration and our commitment of support is professional development this year for our classified staff as well during PLC Wednesdays. So we'll continue to, there weren't any comments. So you can see there's, 27% neutral. So we did look at, well, are there comments that align with why somebody chose a neutral or a disagree? The disagree and strongly disagree haven't really changed much over the last 3 years. It's really that neutral range and really getting our staff to see the benefits of our professional development, making it meaningful for them. Effectively handles discipline problems, again, an area that we've, from standard response protocol to PBIS to our CSTAG training. There's a lot of things that we've implemented the last few years to address this, and we continue to see a steady increase in satisfaction there. Opportunities for parents to be involved, 3% decrease year over year with strongly agree and agree. District facilities are maintained over 90%, which is outstanding. Fiscally responsible, again, over 90%, which is, for an organization to get that kind of response. And statistically, we're proud of that. The salary schedule, we don't have anybody who disagrees or strongly disagrees with our competitive salary schedule. So we've reached the 90 percentile there. And then this is mentioned a few times tonight, hope, right? When I talk about a clear and compelling vision for the future, that's our building futures, comments made by our governing board tonight, and our welcome back celebration is do our employees see a vision where there's a future and hope, and we have over 90% of our employees that strongly agree with that. Overall, very positive responses. It continues to identify areas for improvement. Many of these, Dr. Sprout presented on our aspirations, and we have action steps aligned to some of these questions. Again, comparison for future surveys like we did this evening. But I also wanted to share the survey results. Last spring during Dr. Sprout's visits to each campus, we shared the results from the year before. So everything I'm sharing with you, we shared with the staff. We encouraged them to take the survey. We reinforced that it is anonymous. We do not collect email addresses. We are not looking for any other reason than to approve. And so that was presented at every school, at an after-school staff meeting prior to us pushing out the survey. Again, encouraging them to take it. We want their feedback and letting them know it's anonymous, it's a safe place, and you saw the results this evening. So with that concludes my presentation, and I will stand for any questions. Any further questions?
Any further questions?
How many results did you get, or like what's your response rate on this survey?
338 responses.
And you said there were 4 or 38? How many teachers are there? 4?
Well, we have 1,000,
Oh, you
over the
said
district, we have
everybody.
1,000 employees, 1,004. About 60 of them are guest teachers, which they get it, everybody with an email gets it. But that was higher than the year before where we didn't break 300. 200.
Does it differentiate on there what their position is?
Yes, it asks if they're a classified staff member or certified, and it asks their location, their school, or department, and then the data is desegregated and pushed out to the supervisors. And at our May admin meetings, every school and department look at how their data compares to what I just shared, district-wide data, and then they receive all the comments as well from their staff.
So on things, I know one of our lower ones has been the professional development. Do you see a difference in that percentage based on if they are certified or classified or those different positions?
I will get back. I don't remember off the top of my head. I didn't separate it because for this presentation because we want them all. One of our focuses is also professional development for our classified staff.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I had looked at that in the past, and there wasn't a big range, but I don't want to misspeak. So I will, if I can get back.
I was curious how that like reflects on the PLC, changing to PLCs, and if we saw any difference in the certified response when we introduced the PLC.
I will run that.
That was actually a curiosity that I had too, be that if it is down in the fact that you mentioned that there's going to be more professional development for classified staff, that it made me think, well, maybe that's the reason why it was lower, because classified and certified are all included on the survey.
I will disaggregate the data for professional development with classified and certified, and I will get that to the governing board.
I'd love to see, can we go back a little bit, like one slide, just one? The action steps and the aspirations, I think that's important, and I think it's good stuff. I appreciate that it was shared with staff. I know we talked about that last year's board meeting about, do they hear it? I think it's sometimes somebody's taking the survey on a bad day, so you're gonna get a red line disagree all the way down, so there's nothing you can do about the one or two that are not having a great day, but I'd also love to see the participation rate go up somehow, like maybe some creative messaging around, what this means, things that we've done from last year to this year based on the responses. I know that that's all a communications thing. Focus groups are always great, I'm just but I think the data shows of those who, took the survey that they love where they work, and there's so much positive engagement, and the other ones that are not taking the survey for whatever reason, like maybe trying to identify, like, is it lack of like resources? They don't have a computer to get to, they can't do it on their phone, like, I don't know what platform you use, like, but
It's just
I'd
a
love to
Google
see.
form sent to their
It's a
email.
Google form? Okay.
Maybe that could
Maybe
be a
they're
professional
uncomfortable with
development,
that
like
because
everybody
not
get a-
thinking it's anonymous, like Qualtrics or Survey Monkey,
Yeah.
maybe if you try different platform, maybe, I
Yeah.
don't know. Just, I think the data you get is important, and you know that already, so, because it helps you build just stronger, and the response rate, I think we could get
We want
more
the feedback. We
for
want
sure.
to, we're listening.
Yep.
Yep.
Does the platform you use have like a certified anonymous? Like, I know that
Yeah, you
where
can
it
collect
says
email,
on
you
there.
can, when they respond, you can collect their emails,
Mhm.
and we have it turned off, and it lets them know that when they
Yeah.
take the
Okay.
survey.
I think Google Form, I know, I struggle with that just in like my professional area. People are very uncomfortable with like
Yeah.
Google Forms because they feel like there's some trick behind the scenes of
Yeah.
like how you can actually figure out who it
Track
is,
that,
and
yeah.
there really isn't, but maybe a Survey Monkey, or we use Qualtrics, but things like that might be able to make them feel more confident in like giving a anonymous result, and you might get better feedback or like
Sure.
more targeted comments, because the one that like you had said, like, is it, where are hotspots, like heat maps and things like that would be really interesting to see, like where things are at.
And I have heard that feedback from teachers that I know of, like, well, is it? And I know I used to run surveys for work too, and we had one that was like, had a seal and would say certified confidential, but it's always a concern, and is always going to be a concern, so there's only so much you can do. But that would be nice if there was a way of, getting the survey response up.
Yeah, I appreciate the feedback, and
Okay.
we'll research that.
Thank you for your work on this. Thank you for being a great big part of making why people like to work here in Laveen. And thank you to all of you out there for that same reason. Okay, moving on. Thank you, sir. We have a consent agenda. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Motion and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And do we have a, yeah?
Remember to go, well, I know it's getting late for a Laveen board meeting, but we have our rookie, she's good.
Just tell me when you need me to slow down.
All right.
We're about to go really fast.
Thank you, President Berrigan.
Just
Yeah.
letting everybody know.
We do have, and we like to keep the board apprised of any administrative changes and promotions. So I'm very excited to announce that our longtime lead psychologist, Wanda Fernandez, has been promoted to the Student Services Coordinator. I see her back there. So Wanda, if you'd please stand. Congratulations on your new role.
Congratulations, Wanda. Okay, moving on, we have school colors and mascot for Laveen Traditional Academy.
Motion.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Very exciting. You good? Okay. Policy revisions. We have some policy revisions this evening. We received them, was it last week, I think? or 2 weeks ago? Yeah, 2 weeks ago, before the conference. I'll take a motion either way to accept these policy revisions and waive a second read, or we can just accept the first read and move forward to a second for next meeting.
I recommend waiving.
Mm-hmm.
Motion to
Okay.
waive?
Yes, motion to waive second reading.
Second.
Okay, it's been motioned and seconded to accept the policy revisions and waive the second reading. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have the 25-26 aspirations to action steps, which were presented to us at the last governing board meeting. I'm excited to see this and see this become public facing. Do I have a motion?
Motion?
Second.
You pick.
We have a thing
We're
going
going down
here.
the line.
We're going down the line, man.
Oh,
I didn't get the memo.
I didn't notice either.
We all like saw the last thing you're doing.
Silent agreement there. Okay, motion and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have the bond sale resolution. I would like to make this motion.
Second.
Been motion and second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Next is the contract with Voss Lighting for Laveen Education Center electrical improvements. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Then we have the GMP for the Vista Del Sur Accelerated Academy expansion and improvements. That is very cool to see finally happening. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion and seconded. Motion, Jennifer? Second, Mikkel? Thank you. Yep. It's been motion and second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Next, we have the revised 24-25 educator effectiveness plans for teachers as promised. Do I have a motion?
Motion?
Second.
Motion and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next is the, revised 24-25 educator effectiveness plan for school administrators. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Next is the 25-26 educator effectiveness plan for teachers. Do I have a motion?
Motion?
Second.
Been motioned and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? 25-26 educator effectiveness plan for school administrators. Do I have a motion?
Motion?
Second. Either one.
Jennifer, second.
Yeah.
Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 25-26 classroom site fund performance pay plan. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Told you we'd move fast through that part. Okay, now we have a study session, and this is an opportunity for the governing board to discuss the ASBA law conference that some of us were able to attend last week, or the week before. I'm so lost. I don't know, sometime this month. Or last month?
It was last week.
You're right.
Last week, okay.
Yeah.
What month are we in? Okay.
I know.
Any discussion about any of the items from the law conference, any further information we would like from Dr. Sprout or the cabinet team?
I'm pulling up my notes here, but I did notice, I was going to point out to Tim, because he's always the one getting everybody clapping when everyone comes up to the microphone. And at the law conference, everyone has an intro song. So I kept thinking at the conference, this is Tim's next step, is having the walk-up song for everybody. Just kidding. Okay, let's see. Sorry, I'm finding my notes. Does anybody have anything while I'm looking?
It was just a great opportunity to be able to go and just kind of get refreshed on some of the laws and some of the changes, and just having the opportunity to select different sessions to just be mindful for. I know I went to one that had to do with the board's role in the adoption of curriculum, and so that was nice to be able to be refreshed on that since we're going through that process this year with the reading. And then just the opportunity to be a part of the delegate assembly, spending my Saturday morning doing that. But it was good. All of the things that we had proposed had gone through. The one change that was adjusted was it was initially proposed to take out one of the pieces that had to do with focusing on just the safety piece and students with weapons, that kind of thing. And that was kind of put back into the plan. But otherwise, everything was there to move forward and approved to for the legislative committee. So it was a great opportunity and just a good time to be there.
Ditto, great opportunity. It was my first time going. I really enjoyed it. I liked the beginning session where we all were together and we were just got more information on the lawsuit and other First Amendment situations. And then one of the breakout, I have my booklet right here for it. One of the breakout classes I really enjoyed was called Facts, Fiction, and Fallout, Navigating Misinformation in Education. And just being there, it just reaffirmed that the good things our district is doing. And coming from, as a board member, I get so much communication, but as a parent, also the transparency and communication I receive all the time. I always feel in the know, and I really appreciate that. So I think we're doing a great job with that.
Thank you. I also attended that one. I felt like there was some really good information about and things that we do well with like building relationships before a crisis or before something happens, or you have that relationship, and talked about really giving a lot of information. And it focused on giving a lot of information to teachers too, because when something happens, those parents typically are reaching out to the teachers first. And so making sure that our teachers are getting all the information and are well informed. And they also talked about responding to concerns and, that someone comes up to you or sends you an email or is here in a public meeting. And I really appreciated some of the advice that it gave was to use consistent values-based language. Like, what are the things that we value in our board? We believe in transparency or trust, or, we value learning, and being able to respond that way because, and for any of us, it's a tricky situation when you don't know the facts about something, when someone just approaches you, and we don't want to make someone feel like we're agreeing with the argument that they're making when we don't have the facts. However, it's our job to help people feel heard, and we talked about that and just in the public hearing process and in our role, how important it is for people to feel heard, and a way to help someone feel heard without necessarily agreeing before you have had the opportunity to verify facts is just to say, like, I can see this is really important to you, and we really believe in that transparency and trust, and I will look into this, or, have you, and of course we have the referring them to the appropriate party, but, and I think that's something that I've been pondering on a lot to make sure that in our roles, whether it's in public comment, on the rare public comment, how we can make sure that people are feeling heard. And I think we've already updated that our email addresses are on our governing board bios now to make sure that we are accessible. We can help direct people where they need to be, but to make sure people feel like they're involved. So that I thought that one was a really helpful session too. There was another session that talked about the legal with behavior in some of the places where we have overlap with IDEA or Title IX and mandated reporting, and that changes a lot for us there are changes because we're now mandated reporters and have that legal liability. And one of the things that we could look at is they discuss having discipline reports. Some districts, the discipline reports come to the governing board, and they recommended, like, if there's a situation where we find out about something that should be reported, but it's already been reported because our staff is great about being on top of that, but we should keep a record of the report number so that we know, because it's our responsibility to verify that has been reported, since we're aware of the information too. So that's something that I would like to see when, if we're notified of something that has been reported, just for our own legal, because that's something we're responsible for now. So those were a couple of the big things for me. Oh, and I was also, as we talked about least restrictive environment, and including our students, I'm trying to remember, do we have a parent survey for our special education students? And do we include in that any questions about if they feel like their student is in the least restrictive environment, or does that mostly just get covered in their IEP meetings? It usually gets covered in IEP. Okay. And I think those were some of my big takeaways, but I appreciate the opportunity that we have to stay current on the law and make sure that we're doing what we should be doing, and the classes that we got to go to on oversight so that we can do our jobs effectively. I mean, we have such a great executive team here that we're lucky that we're not having to watch over anybody's shoulder and make sure things are being done correctly, but yet also feeling like we're doing what we've been elected to do. So I appreciate that opportunity.
Any other comments or discussion? Okay, very good. Comments from the board? We'll start with you, Mrs. Anderson.
I don't really have a whole lot of comments. I just appreciate all of the work you guys do. I think the one thing that's kind of just been present on my mind lately is that we're always very much in a very busy hustle of life and getting things done, that we might miss that opportunity to really listen and talk with somebody who might need to be talked with. And so just remember to take that opportunity to just pause what you're doing and really listen to what's going on in people's lives, and to be able to support and encourage them along the way.
Thank you. Mrs. Bell?
Yeah, not a ton of comments. I feel like we talked a lot throughout the meeting, which is great. I think that's great. Just thank you so much, Charlie and Tim, for all your work, and the executive team and everyone else. Thank you so much for all you do. It was good for me to be here tonight. I love how you highlighted hope. I feel like that's something we all need, and I was feeling really hopeless and down, and seeing the division all around me, and feeling really passionate about what I feel, which is fine, but I love that you said, let's keep it hopeful, and that hope lies in our kids. And I just really appreciate that. So I appreciate all of you, because you guys are with them as much or more. You're some of the most important people in their lives, so thank you for all you do.
Thank you. Mrs. Getzke?
Thank you for keeping our kids safe every day. It's my number one priority, all of ours, I'm sure, but thank you for keeping our kids safe every day and have a place to feel welcome and fed and educated. I really appreciate that. Also, please remind whoever uploads to the events calendar, just like add fundraisers and different events going on in your schools so that we can join, and all of us are moms and we'll find any excuse not to make dinner. So if you have any fundraisers out there, let us know, because I'd love to swing through and support the schools and also not cook. So please add them on there. Thank you.
Please make your fundraiser food involved.
We need one every night of the week. Yeah. A different school every night of the week at a different place.
Yeah,
or
ice
cream. You know, we love the ice
cream,
cream
butter
ones, too.
braids, all of the things. Mrs. Abeg.
Just, again, thank you to everyone for your work that you're doing. And between the different events we've talked about with the law conference and the ribbon cutting and other places that we're out in the community, I just constantly feel hear so much positive feedback about our school district, our teachers. I met someone kind of randomly out in the community who works for one of the construction companies that we're working with, and they just had such amazing things to say about the executive team here at Laveen, and his job is working with different school districts, and just really impressed with our team and with the culture in our school district. And I just hear so much positive and a lot of, wow, your district is not like other districts around right now. And that takes all of you guys, and I really appreciate that. So thank you for all of your work for our kids and for the whole community.
Yeah, my reflections from the law conference, because I chat with my peers across the state, is that our district is different, and it's different in the best ways possible. It's different in the way that we feel like our district is part of our community and our community is part of our district. It feels different in the cohesiveness that you have with a governing board instead of a division, a divisiveness, an inappropriate agenda. And so I take the opportunity to thank all of you for being willing to do this service for all the money they pay us. And to Dr. Sprout for leading this district on a daily basis. He has his cabinet, he has his executive team, but very often the work of a superintendent is lonely. There's only so much sharing that can happen one way or the other, and you have other superintendents you can share with too. But a lot of your thought processing has to be done in solitude, and that can be a difficult place to be sometimes. And so I just appreciate your passion for the work that you do, that you don't just see this as a job or the next step in your career. This is work that you care about. And because you care so deeply about the work that you do, everybody in this room and everybody in this district cares deeply about the work that we do. Those are just some of the ways in which our district is different and frankly better than many districts across the state and many districts across this country. So thank you all for what you do. In light of that, I will not be here at the next governing board meeting, and Ms. Abag will be running the meeting. My daughter has a volleyball game that I very much would like to be at. So October 1st, you're up. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was tonight until yesterday, so.
Yeah. Okay, we need to adjourn. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
A motion and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.